Hello and welcome to the first ever Planning Pulse podcast brought to you by Active Cyber. My name is Matt Harvison. I'm the principal practice lead for Workday Adaptive Planning with Active Cyber. Along with me today, I've got my good friend and senior solution consultant, Beau Mellin. Hey, Beau, how are you?
Yeah, what's going on, Matt? Happy to be here. Excited to talk some planning with you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited as well. So we've started this Planning Pulse podcast series, and really the idea is to talk with our customers, talk with our consulting team, really talk with anybody who's interested in learning more about Workday Adaptive Planning. We're going to do demos. We're going to have customers on. We'll have people from our delivery team talk about challenges they face or solutions that they've come up with. We'll talk integrations. We'll talk reporting. We'll talk budget season and what we need to do going into budget season. But for today's episode, since it's the first one and we're really building the foundation up of the planning pulse, it's really important that we talk about what makes the foundation for Workday Adaptive Planning, which is the level structure. When you think about the level structure inside of Adaptive, the key consideration is that the level structure drives user adoption, drives user behavior. You're going to pinpoint exactly what a user can and cannot see through the use of the level structure. We assign users to levels. So for that, it is really the key for foundation of security and access privileges. So it's driving what our users can and cannot see. And because of that, we want to ensure that the level structure is used in a manner where that's the sole purpose is going to be for foundation and security of our specific users. So we don't want to have 4 and 5 and 6 layers of a hierarchy in the level structure, because ultimately that's going to impact the user experience, right?
Yeah, 100%, Matt. Couldn't agree more. Whenever we're implementing that level structure for our customers, like you talked about, it's really the basis for user adoption, where we have your different organizational hierarchies roll up in your departments, your cost centers, your location. It allows us to really decentralize the budget across many different stakeholders inside of our organization. So if one user needs to go in and submit the edits to your overall forecast for one specific piece of the organization, we can give them the appropriate level structure permissioning to allow them to go in, view the budget and the data for their specific piece of the organization and edit that, and allowing it to automatically roll up and consolidate across your entire organization without having to give them access to the entire company's data if that's not something you're looking to have to do. A lot of our customers come to us today working inside of Excel or a Google Sheets, and they have a really massive workbook across all of their different departments and cost centers where they have to do their plan. And then when it comes time to be able to do some reporting and maybe some budget versus actuals analysis, they have to go back and manually aggregate and consolidate that information. Whereas the level structure inside of adaptive planning is going to go ahead and automatically roll up and consolidate your data for you. It's a big time saver whenever we're having to go back and do our reporting and do our planning across our entire organization.
Yeah, and something you just mentioned there, I know the workbooks are always a key consideration, but you also mentioned stakeholders. It's really important to note that planning is not just FP&A focused, right? There are, I know a lot of folks here at Workday Adaptive Planning, they think financial planning, and that's all it is sort of a finance tool meant for finance. But really, there's a lot of other use cases that exist, and we'll get into sales planning and all the other ones in the future. But when we think about the other use cases specifically for level structure consideration, it's done differently across different parts of the organization, right? When you think of workforce planning, so workforce planning can be done inside of Workday Adaptive Planning as well, but that's going to follow a different level structure hierarchy. It's who's reporting to who, or supervisory org perspective. When you think about sales planning, it's regionally based or team based, or this team rolls into this region rolls up into this area. And when you think about operational planning, a lot of time it could be warehouses or distribution centers or production facility based. So there's a lot of different considerations for the level structures rather than just departments and cost centers like you may see from an FP&A perspective, although that is the most common from an FP&A perspective, is that department cost center based sort of structure as well.
Yeah, 100%, Matt. Whenever we're doing an implementation for an FP&A group, a lot of times we're having your level structure mirror how your organizational hierarchy is set up inside of your ERP. It allows for a really quick and easy integration process to be able to map the data from your source system into your org hierarchy and adaptive in a format that you're already very familiar with and extremely comfortable with. from a reporting perspective and from a financial statement perspective. So whenever we're setting up that initial hierarchy inside of Adaptive, most of the times it's going to be really close to how your structure is set up inside of your ERP.
Yeah, and the structure, that's a really good point too. So when you think about your structure of an organization, a lot of our customers have a multi-currency need as well.
Yeah.
Right, where they've got entities that are operating in different countries. And when you talk about bringing data over from the source system, we're going to bring it over, but inside of Workday Adaptive Planning, through the level structure, we actually tag and identify each one of those levels with their own currency, because currency conversion inside of Adaptive is something that's done natively through the level structure as well. So you think of tagging your levels. If you've got a multi-currency need, you could have that as one of your key considerations for your level structure as well.
100%. And you bring up a good point where you're talking about tagging levels, because sure, we go in and we tag them with your local currency, but there's a lot of other applications that we can do when it comes to tagging your levels as well. One of those being level attributes, which gets us into alternate reporting hierarchies, because a lot of our customers, sure, they like to report on their overall legal structure, but a lot of them also want to be able to spin up alternate views inside of the organization, whether we're potentially planning for a reorg, or maybe we want to look at it on a department or warehouse location type view as well, like Matt said. So it allows for a lot of flexibility when we want to generate some different reports as well. Like Matt said, we really want to get into the content on this Planning Pulse series. So I think what would be beneficial now is if we went ahead and actually dove on into the planning tool and we took a look at what we've been covering so far today. So Matt, I know you're quite familiar with this screen, and a lot of our adaptive planning customers are. This is going to go ahead and be where we actually set up that level structure. You can see right now we have our total company organizational hierarchy set up with our different locations and cost centers, our corporate departments as well, all rolling up and automatically consolidating like we talked about a little bit earlier. To Matt's point about going in and tagging those levels, you see we have our different countries that we're working with right now. If I go ahead and select the United States, you can see we have the US dollar applied to it. If we have the United Kingdom, we can see we're applying the GBP to it. We're integrating it in at that local currency. And then when we want to view it from a total company consolidated perspective, it'll automatically translate for us back to that native currency that we're going to go ahead and be doing most of our reporting in. It's a really nice feature of it. The other aspect is those level attributes like we talked about. If I select a specific department inside of our organization, you can see right now, whenever we're building reports out, we may not want to view every single department or location or cost center like this. We might want to group it into our supervisory org, where we're taking a look at our different operations, corporate, or other aspects of our overall entity. We can come on in and tag all of these for an easier view in terms of reporting as well. So when we're thinking about reporting, we can go ahead and jump on over to a web report right now where we're taking a look at net income data and EBITDA percentage, a key KPI that we know a lot of our customers need to be able to track out there when they're doing their planning process. Right now, we've brought in our actuals information, our budget data for Q1 of 2024. And you can see this view that we're looking at our net income and our EBITDA percentage in right now is the exact same view we saw on that last screen of our level structure. But to Matt's point about the level tagging, maybe we want to pivot this and view it on that alternate reporting hierarchy. To be able to do so, we go into our reporting backend. And these reports inside of Adaptive are extremely easy to be able to build out. It's all drag and drop functionality. There's no coding. There's no scripting. You don't have to have a really heavy IT involvement for any of your teams that want to be able to come into Adaptive to be able to do their planning and reporting. Right now, we're viewing it by that level structure, our total company perspective that we talked about a little bit earlier. But maybe we want to pivot this report and view it by that super org tagging that we talked about. We can go ahead and take this off of our report, drag and drop our super org into our report. All we have to do now is click that play button. And now our report is going to go ahead and come back in, and you can see it's that same net income and EBITDA percentage BVA for Q1, but now it's in a much more condensed view based off of that supervisory organization level attribute that we brought into the report to allow us to be able to view our overall KPIs and our data in a much easier to digest format. So it allows, Matt, for a lot of flexibility for companies to be able to go in, tag all of our departments to a specific grouping to allow you to be able to quickly report on them and other types of formats as well. So level attributes, tagging allows us for a lot of great flexibility whenever we're generating these reports here.
No, I love it. I love it. And The reason that we're doing this series is just to inform our customers and inform folks who want to learn a little bit more about Workday Adaptive Planning, and level structures is so critically important to your organization that we want to make sure that we get it right. So that's why we started off with levels today. I know Beau just went through a little bit of a reporting demonstration. We're going to be talking about reports, dashboards, customer stories, challenges. We're going to really just open up the floor and make sure that this series is beneficial for everyone. So I know, Beau, I'm speaking for both of us. We're really looking forward to the future of the series here, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm fired up, Matt. We got a lot of great content coming out for you guys.
All right. Have a great day.
Yeah, y'all too.